I don't know if you can view it until it's live. I just checked online.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. I guess we are recording.
Cool.
Hey, Sam.
Here, Sean.
Oh, look, you're wearing an Explain Everything shirt.
Yeah.
That's very good. My name is Reshan Richards. I'm Chief Learning Officer and one of the co-founders of Explain Everything.
And I am Sam George. I am the sales director here at Explain Everything.
And we are doing this is part one of maybe 6, maybe more, live demos of Explain Everything. And this is the first time we've ever actually done it as a Google Hangout on air. And it's also April Fool's Day. So if things go wrong, we'll just pretend this was like some massive April Fool's Day prank. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
That'll work.
Sounds good.
So what we were thinking of doing is first, jumping right into really Explain Everything Collaborative Whiteboard, which is the new application that just finished its global launch on about 2 weeks ago, and going to dive into some of the features and opportunities there. But then also just from a usage standpoint, going to focus on kind of one dimension that one of many kind of patterns we've seen in the way people are using the application, especially in K-20 settings. And so today's kind of topic will be live instruction, and live feedback. So really just using the tool in a live setting. And this is kind of the more instructor or teacher directed perspective.
Right, and feel free to chime in with any questions that you guys have during the demo.
Yeah. If you chime in, though, I have to actually figure out how I will know that you've chimed in. Let me click this button here. Comment tracker. What's that about? All right. I don't know what that does either. All right. Well, if you Q&A, I just hit a Q&A button. Oh, the feature is disabled. I'm not going to click that anymore. That'll be next week when we figure out how to use that.
Yeah. If you send us something, maybe we'll see it.
Yeah. We're learning. We're all learning. Okay. So what I'm going to try to do. This kind of worked before, and then, oh, yes, it will. All right, so I'm going to attempt to switch over to my iPad. Start screen share, and hopefully you see my iPad. I guess we'll find out afterwards where that's real. Oh, Sam's going to go check on his computer. You actually won't be able to see him doing that. So all of a sudden, the view count will increase because there's going to be one more person. So I'm in Explain Everything Collaborative Whiteboard right now, and Sam, you might want to mute your speakers, otherwise it might start to feedback.
Cool.
Yeah. All right, so so this is just a slide. This is actually going back to more of the kind of theme that we're trying to or we're attempting to use as we do these very, very informal webinar hangout on air things. These are kind of the 6 major patterns we've seen, and I'm actually going to change this to K-20 because it's not just K-12. It's really in K-20. You see my poor penmanship. And the ways that things are used. And today we're specifically going to focus on this idea of instruction and feedback in a live setting. But before we get to that, let's talk about the application itself. So many people have used Explain Everything in a variety of ways, and the collaborative whiteboard has 3 major components to it, one of which is the screencasting and interactive whiteboard, which many people are used to and enjoy using. And then the 2 other dimensions are the real-time collaboration possibilities, which we'll do some demos of shortly, as well as something called Explain Everything Discover, which is a new content destination that we've created so that if Google Drive or Dropbox is in a system that you're currently using, Explain Everything Discover is very likely your solution. In fact, it's probably the content system that's really been optimized for the types of things that people do and create with Explain Everything, and we're pretty excited to see how people will use it. I'm just going to go back to my home screen here. I'm going to discard my changes. So I'm going to just create a new project, and one of the things that's new, in addition to being able to create a blank project, and being able to create a project from existing files, I can do this thing called From Template. And we've got some pretty standard colors, or actually the 4 ones you see on the right, the second row, and then the solid colors basically are the ones that existed in the interactive whiteboard app. So I could choose some of these presets, or I can actually create a custom one where I can choose a special background. I'm going to go with salmon.
Cool.
Salmon.
It's slowly catching up.
Oh, it's slowly catching up. All right. Maybe close that.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to assume that people are almost seeing some of the things that I'm seeing. If not in the recording, I think at the very least,
Right.
that will be seen. Yeah, yeah. Or we'll again, this is how we learn. Maybe next time we'll just do a slide deck. But that's so boring. Okay, so salmon background. I'm going to change the pattern. I'm going to use this little grid, and I can actually make the pattern a different color, green. This is not the most tasteful color selection, but what's happened now is that this has set up a background template that I can use, and this is kind of a zoomable, scrollable, changeable. It's still an infinite canvas, and I can actually change the size of these grid blocks however I want. So that was just creating a background template. So I'm actually, for today, mostly going to focus on the design tool side of things. You know, I'll assume maybe no prior knowledge of the app. I won't assume that people have used it before. So, I mean, the way Explain Everything works is everything that gets added to the stage becomes an object. Now, I drew this line. When I'm on the hand tool, the object is something I can move around with one finger. I can use two fingers to scale it and rotate it and position it wherever I want. One of our objectives has always been to make all objects kind of behave in a similar manner and also kind of respond to touch in what we think is a pretty natural way, considering the emergence of touchscreen devices. The draw tool, which is the second one, it lets me, I can choose different thicknesses. So I can go for this super thick, and I can draw. So this is pretty standard inking and drawing. As soon as I switch back to the hand tool, oh, look, those grouped together. That was unintentional. The drawing turns from an active drawing into a separate object. So I can create a bunch of different drawing artifacts and add and position them to the stage. If I draw two separate things without kind of switching off from the hand tool, from the draw tool, the app doesn't know that these two X's are actually separate. It sees them as one drawing. One thing you've noticed, some things accidentally are grouping together. We made it that by default, when you've got overlapping, or when you draw on top or really on top of the rectangular area of another object, it'll automatically group together. And we do this because imagine annotating a document or a photo and you've marked it up. You probably want those annotations to stick with it. We've got a highlighter tool that lets us kind of create some shading with transparency. This used to be possible before. You just had to change the visibility in the color picker, and we've just kind of made it so that it's its own tool. Any questions so far, Sam?
Looks pretty good so far.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah. All right. So here's a shape. This is a rounded rectangle. Look, you can make your own little app icon. This is the Sam app. So yeah, you can. I just drew on top of a shape, and then it grouped together text. So all I'm kind of showing are really, what should be pretty familiar design tools. Any kind of open-ended drawing design tool usually has these kinds of options: drawings, shapes, text. One of the things you can also do and Explain Everything is to add photos and videos and all sorts of things. Let me try to find a nice photograph here. I'll bring in this map. I think this is a good map. All right, perfect. And even this photograph that I've imported behaves in the same way as all other objects. And just to point out that whole annotation thing. So my family is from I grew up in New York, I was born there, but my family is from a small island in the Indian Ocean called Sri Lanka. And now, if I wanted that circle to stay with the image, that was helpful. There's a gesture I could triple tap. Oops. And it'll separate the drawing from the thing below it. And there's other ways to do that as well. we'll talk about importing when we talk about bringing in previously created stuff. A new tool in this version of the app is this thing called the Cutout Tool, where I can do a rectangular selection of the stage, and it'll basically take an image of whatever was highlighted. It's basically like a mini screenshot of an area of the stage. But what's cool about this is if you did something with the drawing, say I made like a really complicated drawing. I'm not going to make a really complicated drawing because, well, my drawing skills are limited. But say I've got like, this happy person, and I wanted a quick copy of it. It'll actually preserve the transparency. I mean, I could have duplicated this in the inspector, but it preserved the transparency when I clone it. Now, imagine I wanted this person and the map like that. It's just created this cool little cutout object there. So it could be a useful tool.
I have one quick question.
Yeah, Sam.
What if I'm bringing in that map, say, and I want, I'm importing the picture and I want just a piece of that map during the import function?
Why did you have to ask such a hard question? Just kidding. Let's see. So let me find the map. Here it is. It's still in my camera roll.
Could I crop that right now?
Yeah, so there's actually this intermediary image editor screen, and we plan to update the choices that are available here. But for now, if I just wanted South America, I could do a rectangular crop at this point. So, or just that. I'm going to hit cancel. I could actually use a lasso crop if I wanted to try to just get the shape of the continent. And that might be useful. If you're super fancy, and I'm not, oh no, I didn't mean to do that. All right, if you're super fancy, and we're gonna try to make this its own tool in the future, but right now this is kind of the hack. I can use, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit, hold on. Oops, cancel. All right, so what I wanna do is I wanna actually do a cutout of Brazil. So this is gonna be really sloppy, but so, you see I've like cut out that rectangle. I'm gonna try, not Brazil, South America, excuse me. I really don't know what's gonna happen, but do you see what I did there? Let's see. I don't know what's gonna happen. This could be a giant disaster. Ah, that's a disaster. Okay, oops, that's even worse. That's even worse. All right, we'll bring a cutout tool in. Let's pretend the last 45 seconds never happened. But now this map actually looks quite cool. Looks almost like a real paper map. That was actually, yeah, pretend this was the secret plan all along to give it that paper map curvy feel. Okay. All right, so the other kind of basic thing for now with Explain Everything that I'll show, oh, this might break everything. But if I hit this record button, everything that's happening on the stage and then also audio narration will get recorded. I don't know what's going to happen when I hit record because I've got this like crazy setup with multiple USB cords and microphones and QuickTime all happening. But let's see. If the broadcast ends now, it's been a wonderful experience. Okay, here we go. So I hit record. I think it's recording. I think my audio is still going. Perfect. So I'm just, oh, those are grouped together. Now they're not grouped. So I'm just moving stuff around. Real, not that exciting stuff. All right, so that's the whiteboard. That worked out okay. All right, now we're gonna do something cool before we get into kind of the use case. So another, like I mentioned the whiteboard part, and then I mentioned discover and collaborate. Let's actually talk about collaboration. And if there's anybody, actually, we'll do it by code base. We'll see if any of the viewers who are currently tuned in, and there are viewers, very good. And if you have the collaborative whiteboard for your iPad and you've got, you're in the free trial or you've paid for it and you've got an account, you should actually be able to join us. So what we're going to do is this. I'm going to hit my little collaboration menu button. I'm going to call this live demo. And I'm going to let people join in and hit start. And so when I hit start, this little invite code appeared at the top. Now on some networks, the project will actually be visible on the local network. That's that bottom option you see there. But right now, I've made it so that anyone who enters this code on the collaboration menu, actually, if you open a project and click join, you could enter it there. you'll be able to join. So I'm actually going to leave this open for a minute. There's Samuel. We'll see if anybody else joins. I'll leave this visible, and actually I'll write it in. Let me write it on a piece of paper, and I'll write it on the stage so somebody else can join after the fact. Paper. Here we go.
Some people are asking a few questions on the chat window.
Oh, in Google?
Yeah.
Oh, no way. What did they say?
One person couldn't log in, so I'm just gonna check on that.
Uh-oh.
Make sure everyone's doing okay here.
All right, we'll see what's going on. All right, yeah, while that's happening, let me see if I can figure out the whole chat business. Chat links? No. What's that? Showcase?
Oh, there we go.
Uh-oh, I pressed something.
We got Agnieszka helping us out here too.
Oh,
Great, yeah, it looks good.
somebody else joined.
Keep that open.
All right.
If anyone else joins.
Yeah, and I just wrote it down on a piece of paper, so I'll write it up on the slide. So we've got, somebody joined for a second, and then they left. Sam is in. I'll leave it up for another minute. Oh, this is going to be tricky because there's a recording. Maybe I should have done a blank project. It's okay.
I'm in here now.
Oh, I can see. So Sam on his own iPad is actually manipulating that arrow that you see kind of moving around in the background. Let me write this. All right, I'll wait till we see. So that second device you see there where it says explain everything connecting, that's actually all the way in Poland, I believe. So Sam and I are in New York City, and we've got somebody joining in all the way from Poland, we think. I probably overcomplicated things by having 11 seconds. Oh, connected. All right, perfect. So I'm going to hit close. I'm going to write down the join code up here, and it looks like, oh, somebody wrote hi there. Hello from abroad. Oh, that's way too thick. Hold on. BMP 32S.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so sorry that my handwriting is bad, and that's an M. You know what? I'm going to type that. BMP 32. I don't know if it's going to autocorrect it to something. It didn't. So that's the join code if you happen to have collaborative whiteboard. So right now, 3 people, oh, you see that little 3 there, are all collaborating. So one of the cool things is from multiple devices, you can all be kind of working on the same space. I'm the host, so I can actually control the Zoom level of everybody, or I can change it to the second Zoom mode. And right now, you can see this kind of differentiated area, and that's kind of the area that's being recorded, or if I was recording, that would be recorded. So I could actually work off the stage. I'm going to draw my famous angry monster fish, and I can move it on the screen onto Sam's view. So I'm actually going to zoom in, and maybe, Sam, you can zoom out, and then you can simulate that. Oh, dang, that's a very nice graphic, the EE logos. Yeah, so even though that's, you know, Sam has a much different view, and then he was able to make the fish appear. Pretty cool. All right, so let's see. This is what I'm going to do. I just created a blank slide. So if you guys want to actually jump over to slide 3, and we can all be here. So right now, it's in this kind of open edit mode. I could control the experience and say that, all right, it's view only for some people or editing for some. So if Sam was being really, really a nuisance, I could always switch him to view only, but I trust you'll be all right there. So let's talk about instruction and those kinds of settings, or just like live settings. So not necessarily instruction, but just kind of in-person communication, whether it's one-on-one or one-to-many, something like that. So just on the surface as an interactive whiteboard, actually, I'm going to switch. The collaboration session is going to stay open, but I'm going to switch back to Sam and me so we can bring back the human element. Yes, hello, we're back. Thank you. Thank you for staying tuned in. So when talking about live instruction, this is like either I'm doing some direct instruction in front of a classroom, perhaps, or leading a meeting, or we could be one-on-one and just have a whiteboard in front of us and use it as a scratch space for jotting down ideas, those kinds of things. I might be giving you feedback on something and be like, let's pull up your last paper and
Right.
we'll annotate it together just in that kind of setting.
And record or something like that.
And we could record it in that moment so that
Right.
after our time is ended, we could ship it off for sure. So, one of the things is one of the, possible opportunities from a live instruction perspective, now back to the iPad, is literally using this as kind of a digital slate or whiteboard.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the advantages is especially if you've got a wireless projection through AirPlay, Apple TV, or some other mechanism, instead of your back needing to be turned to the students,
Mm-hmm.
you can actually still be like facing out and looking at the class while, if there's something that it's important to jot down, you could still be able to kind of maintain that kind of human and eye engagement and other qualities that I think strengthen that type of delivery. So let me see if I can let me try to sketch this, what this could look like. So here's where the screen is. Here's the projector, and then the teacher. Yeah, my awesome arts. Oh, the undo.
Another user is joining.
Oh, somebody just joined. That's what happened. Okay, so my beautiful person. So that person could be manipulating the iPad. They look a little uncomfortable, I realize, but they've got enormous shoes and a top hat. Okay, so all right, so it also looks like, random fisherman who's come to do a guest lecture at your class, but that's okay. This guy's fishing rod. So anyway, I think that creates a cool opportunity for direct instruction. Oh, thank you. Yes, he should have blue jeans on. He is not underwater. Very good. Blue shorts, jorts, right?
Yep.
Jean shorts.
Waiters.
So that's, the tool itself can just be used for being able to show concepts, illustrate things, blank slate. My background is in math teaching. I'll let you guys keep working on this slide. I'm going to go over to 4. And, a lot of times I used to just, write a problem and then I'd want to model it. And this is back when I was using a, big, expensive, interactive whiteboard. And I might model the steps that I would take, kind of doing this backwards, to solve a problem. My background choice is horrible. I'm going to switch that in a second. And this might be some way, like if I was just trying to show, okay, how to solve for a single variable equation, this might be something that I would walk through. And then I would have a series of slides of pages during my direct instruction that I'd make available to students afterwards, so they could check the notes. So that certainly is a possibility. I'm going to change the background here because it's driving me crazy. I made a terrible choice. So I'm going to make this one white. Oh, actually, this might crash things. I've seen that happen before. Did that work? Did it change the background with success? All right. I was worried. I remember when we were doing some beta testing before, when I would change the background for all the slides during a live session, it would cause issues. But look, it didn't. Oh, look at that emoji light bulb. Very good. So this is kind of cool also during this live collaboration session, is that people are working in different areas and doing, oh, a horse has appeared, doing all sorts of goofy things, which you may or may not want. But during this time, I could be doing the live instruction here. Now let's talk about this. So imagine you're a student, Sam, and you already know how to solve, you're already comfortable. I don't know why it's always 3x. Let me change it. Let me make it more complicated.
Uh-oh, I'm a little worried now.
There's probably going to be a remainder here. Okay, I'm going to add one more problem here. And imagine I'd made multiple slides like this. So one opportunity could be that, all right, if all students are joined to this project, I'm going to model the problem on slide 5. But if you think you're ready for this, you can go on to slide 6. And I've written, oh, no, Sam, wrong problem. You get an F.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry.
So I'm going on slide 6.
Yeah, I was joking. Yeah, so what I was trying, I'm going to delete Sam's plus sign. So what I was trying to show is that I could set up a series of scaffolded problems and even assign them to students, or just have a bunch of extra ones. It'd be like, all right, go find one that hasn't been solved yet. And so if you feel like there's not much value added to watching me model this solution, you can dive into some other part and work on it, or you actually might click around and see how somebody else is solving it, or something like that. There, for somebody else who's joined in here, I'm going to give you a problem to work on. There you go. So if somebody can go over to slide 7.
Someone's working on this one.
And work on that. So I'm the teacher. I'm going to model this. But you students who, this isn't going to be that much help for you, you can go ahead and work on some of those other problems. So let's see. Oh, you've got some other work here. And so like somebody's approached this one. Nobody wants to do that one. Oh, look, somebody started solving this. So that's great. So it's just a different type of real-time collaborative interaction. And I think, this is a very, very simple, math, middle school-ish, 8th grade situation. But there's so many other things you could do. Imagine we imported a whole bunch of maps and just said, all right, people jump around and, annotate and mark up things. But again, we're not doing any recording at this point. We're just kind of using this as this interesting, both linear and nonlinear collaborative workspace.
I guess I've also seen, say you're introducing a new subject, a new content piece at the beginning of your class. You introduce it using Explain Everything, and then have pre-made or preset projects up on each screen. You can group students or however you like it and have them go during this collaborative session to each of those pre-made templates on each slide and have them work on a different project or something like that. Just something I've seen. That's
a great idea and transition, Sam. So sorry, collaborators, I'm actually going to close this out. So one thing that's cool, when I hit stop here, the people who have joined and are messing around in this session, you're actually going to keep a copy of it, because when I started the collaboration session, I made that a choice. So one thing that's important to know about this collaborative experience is that the session is collaborative, but the project it's a project. It's not like a Google shared document where you can go back asynchronously later and see the changes. You could figure out workflows for that. So after we disconnect, you can be like, after Sam has done some work on it, he can let me know where the project is and I can download and keep working on it.
Right.
But once we disconnect, the session has ended, and I'm going to make it so that everybody gets to keep a copy. Oh, I see Ronnie MacD is connecting. Sorry, I didn't know if I should have said your name out loud there. But I'll let you join in here. It's probably going to take a second. But then what I'm going to do is I'll close this collaboration, and then I'm going to bring in open up another project, and then we'll get back into it in a second. So I'm going to hit stop here. Sorry if this ruins your excitement, but we'll get right back into it. So I'm going to go back to the home screen. Live. Yeah, I'm going to save that. That was kind of cool. And you guys, you can save your own copy too. Okay, so we've talked about the whiteboard. We've talked about the real-time collaboration and some of the possibilities there. But let's go to Explain Everything Discover, which we really haven't talked about. And Sam, again, you had a good idea about thinking about the context. So this is a destination that's really been designed around our content and format type. And similar to kind of like the way that the community of like MIT Scratch is built, you can publish content here and somebody can view it. So you don't have to publish to YouTube or Drive or Dropbox. You can just send it here and you'll get a link to be able to view it. Or you can actually download something and remix it. So I'm just going to go to a random discipline. So I went to History and Social Studies. And all right, Magellan's Route. Oh, I made this. That's not that fun. Let me see. Let's see, windmills. All right, so this is one made. So I hit the get button, and I can actually download a copy of this down to my device. And yes, I can view kind of all the content that was visible here. but I can also remix it. So if I felt like it was important, to add, some birds flying in here. Oh, those birds aren't flying very well. There we go. Ungroup them. All right, so 2 hands. Bird. All right, so I've got some birds flying. So I can take what's there, add to it, and then I can actually publish this back and send this back to Discover. I could have also deleted the recordings and stuff.
Right, yeah, that's something that, if you like just the template that someone's using, for example, you like the background, you like some of the shapes or the animations that someone has drawn, you can take that and then delete if there's a recording there. So say it's in English and you're going to do a Spanish project about windmills, right? So you download the project, delete the audio recording, and then you could record something in Spanish over it or something like that.
And you can also move around the objects and stuff too.
Right,
It's really meant to be very open-ended and flexible and malleable.
Exactly.
So I could publish windmills with birds, but I'm going to choose not to. Let's go find a different project that we can invite everybody to join in the fun. Actually, I saw this cool infographic thing. Let's see if I can find that again. All right, so I'm going to say get. Cool. And let's see, you've got some slides here. See if it'll let me delete the recording. Okay, I'm just getting rid of the recording quickly. And okay, so now I'm going to actually open this up for collaboration. That's meant to be one right. Start. So if you're tuned in there, you can actually see the short link for joining 6AK4E0. I guess we should differentiate between O's and zeros.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's a 0.
Let's check. For everyone joining, that's a 0.
That is a 0, yeah.
An O.
I wonder. Actually, no. I wonder if it's one of those things where it'll accept an O or a 0. I wonder if that's one of those things that computers are able to do, or can account for, differentiate, or willing to accept both versions.
Right.
Yeah, unlike this thing. All right, so Sam is in. We'll see if anybody else feels like joining here. So here's a case where I downloaded a template created by somebody else, and I'm gonna, or we are actually gonna try to remix it or work on it together. Those are some bad lines. You should delete those lines actually, Sam. Is anybody else joining? We'll see. Give it another minute. Actually, it could take a minute to join, especially Sam and I are in the same room.
I'll put the join code on the stage as well if anyone else wants to.
Oh, why don't you write that? Yeah, awesome. That way I can.
6AK4E0.
Yeah. 6AK4E0. Put a slash through that O.
There we go.
There we go.
All right.
All right, so we got some people connected. So actually, let me try this. Actually, I'm gonna make everyone is now view only. Did you all get bumped to slide 1?
Yes.
Nice. So right now,
And, yeah, what it looks like on my iPad now. This is good for.
here actually let's show this. So why don't you
Yeah.
show your iPad up here?
So I'm in a view only screen here. So I've lost all my tools on the right hand side.
Yeah. So and I'm the host, so I still have all the design tools available. And then when actually this could be cool. Let me try this. So you're seeing my iPad, and then Sam's over there, and so I'm actually able to control his view. I'm zooming on my device, but Sam's is the one that's being. Oops, I mistouched. Hold on. Oh, somebody's joining. That it said, hold on, somebody's joining. I'm so excited. Oh, so there we go. So I'm going to hit Zoom, and I'm actually zooming everybody's situation. And I might say, all right, today we're going to try to create goofy labels using some of these objects here, or you can make your own label. And I'm going to drop a street map on here, and I want you to identify interesting landmarks. So check this out. Let's see if this works. We're still in view only mode.
I'll keep on letting you see mine because I can't do anything anyway.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, Sam. Let's see what happens here. So maps.google. I think I can legally and ethically do this. Yeah, maps.google.com. It's probably going to recognize my location. It's either going to put me in Connecticut or in New York. Nope, New York.
For those of you who haven't used Explain Everything before, he just opened up a browser which can be streamed live in the stage. So right now he's going to Google Maps to find a map.
Yeah, and so here's something where I think the Cutout Tool is super, super useful.
So mine's coming in a little bit after yours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so Sam, so those who are collaborating, it's probably not.
It's taking a while. It takes
probably take a sec. Yeah, because I'm doing so much all at once. But while that's happening anyway,
there we go. So there's the map that he just pulled up.
I'm going to, oops. I'm trying to find, here we go. So where we are here. All right, so I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Home Depot, is that near us? Oh yeah, here we go. I'm actually going to use the Cutout Tool. And then I'm going to delete the web browser from the stage, and I'm going to send this cutout thingy to the back. Send to the back. There we go. And so imagine the activity I'm going to have you do is just to identify some places where you've been or some interesting things on the map.
So I don't. Oh, there it is. It's just coming in.
Yeah, the picture's loading. Yep, there you go.
Cool.
Internet.
There's my picture. Hopefully it's come up for all you that are collaborating.
And then what I'm going to do now is oh yeah, you couldn't have seen what I was doing before. Sorry about that. That must have been annoying. So I added this map here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the editing controls back to the users who are joined. Everyone can edit. And let's see if you can have some fun marking up this map. See if you can move around some of those labels. I'm going to switch back to my screen here. Start screen share. Okay. Maybe I'm going to try to lock the map. This might be annoying for you. I'm locking the map. I just locked the map in place. And I'm about to change the zoom perspective so it's a little more centered. Sorry if that was annoying.
Looks like we can bike in the park.
You can. I'm going to move this. I'm going to take over this blue flag here. So I'm going to zoom in so I can. I haven't messed up any of the collaborators' views, but what I'm going to do right now is type here. I'm going to make the font large. Oh, 99. I wonder how big that is. Oh, it didn't get bigger. I guess I have to highlight it.
Time Warner Cable. There's the computer. TechServe.
Oh, you can get your Apple devices fixed at TechServe. They are an authorized Apple something or other.
Where should you put the graph? National Museum of Mathematics. Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
The graph goes over to National Museum of Mathematics.
Oh, my Explain Everything label is way too big. Hold on. I gotta make this smaller. I think I've forgotten to select one letter. But you probably see things happening in a tiny frame, right? What I'm doing?
Yes.
So from Sam's view, while I was working in all zoomed here, Sam, why don't you quickly?
So I assigned these little tags to different places that would fit.
Yeah,
their icon.
And you probably saw me working on that tiny little Explain Everything label,
right?
While you were busy doing other stuff. So
right, I'll zoom in on that. So this is what Reshan was working on while I was. So he just did that and put our office location for everyone to come visit.
Yeah. Come on down. 119 West 24th Street. That's where we are. So I'm going to hit reset here. I'm going to get back to the Zoom. Oh, let me switch back to our screen. So I think we'll wrap up in a couple of minutes here. there are probably some other things we wanted to cover. Oh, I mean, we talked about importing existing projects. We didn't talk about the fact that if you had materials saved in another location that you'd previously worked on, like PDFs or slide decks and things like that, you can access those. So I'm going to go into the deep, dark world of my Dropbox here. Oops, that's clip art. I have to organize my Dropbox. It's a giant mess. But here are different kinds of files and stuff that I've already got saved. And oh, you know what I should do? I'm going to do a new project. I'm going to end the collaboration. Sorry, collaborators, because I'm gonna leave.
And also, while Reshan is ending the collaboration, if anyone, I have the chat window going on my other screen. If anyone has any questions or things that you want us to quickly show you before we end, I can do that.
Yeah,
so just feel free to chime in on that chat window if you like.
We're gonna try to do this again next week and focus more on like the asynchronous, so like actually recording materials. And then we'll figure out how to handle chat and questions within a Hangout.
Right.
That's a good mission, right?
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll get better at this. By like the 6th time, we're gonna be awesome. But this was pretty fun. So what I wanted to show was I can go into my Dropbox and create a new project from from a material that already exists. So I've got this old PowerPoint. You'll see how old it is when you see the template, and it's doing some calculations about this number of slides. It must be a big PowerPoint. Sorry, I chose the wrong one. Oh, it's 14. Okay, so yeah, check out this awesome design. Anyway, I can insert all 14 slides, or can actually just choose a few. I'm going to say deselect all. I'm only going to insert this one, and this one. And what it'll do, it'll automatically stage those 3 slides in the project for me. Now, depending on the resolution of the project, I mean, this one's super, super old, so keep it a little smaller in the frame. But that way I don't have to like create from scratch. Now, this is a flat image, so I can't like edit the text. If I needed to change something here, you know, I could just black it out and, well, I'm on a gradient, so I'd probably redesign it from scratch. But anyway, like your markup would basically be annotating over it. So that can also be useful for people. And one final thing before we do it. Right now, let me see, these are some of the worksheets from Mike Rhodes, one of his sketchnote handbooks, which I love. So right now with photos, when you import them, it'll add them all to the stage. We'll be bringing back the option where you can stage a bunch of photos on top of a bunch of slides, but this is a quick way to get a whole bunch of images all onto the stage at once. Yeah, all right. I think that was good. That was 45 minutes of stuff. And I'm going to go back to Sam and me. So we'll actually go back. Oh, hello. We'll go back and check out the video and see what the audio quality and stuff like that was. So thanks for tuning into our iteration 1 of a Google Hangout on air live demo of Explain Everything.
And I didn't see any questions, so I think that's good.
That means we were so good that it's all perfectly crystal clear and no questions or ambiguities. So
cool.
Well done. Thank you, Sam.
Yeah, thank you, Reshan, and thank you everyone for joining us. Goodbye. See you next week.
And this will be available somehow. Once I hit the like hang up button, I think it gives us a link that we can post somewhere. We'll tweet it, and I guess when we advertise next week's one, we'll include the link to check out the archive.
Cool.
Unless it's awful.
Yeah. Well.
No, it was awesome.
Great.
Yeah. April Fools. Okay. Don't trust any pranks.
Happy spring, everyone.
Yes, happy spring.